Microsoft invests billions in Europe, Indonesia planning a digital tax, Europe's largest healthcare provider in attack. All this and more on this week's Security Weekly. Hello, it's Sasha and a warm welcome to you all tuning in. It's been another packed week, so let's take a look at what's been shaping the news in technology and info security. With the world increasingly either implementing or having switched to remote work environments, there are nations that have been leading this trend. The tech giants of Silicon Valley tend to get credit for being first in implementing remote work for their employees at the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet there are other notable examples which deserve to be recognized. According to a recent Eurofund study, which compiled responses to over 85,000 people from across the continent, it's been discovered that over 60% of Finland's workforce have transitioned to remote work or telecommuting since the COVID-19 crisis began. That's an impressive number given that the EU average is around 37%. Furthermore, the study also found that in most countries where there had been a major switch to remote work, it has not led to a reduction in working time, demonstrating once again that working from home is beneficial to efficiency and productive employees. Indonesia is Southeast Asia's largest economy and home to over 267 million people. It's also a booming market for big tech companies like Google, Netflix, Facebook, and others. So it will come as a shock for tech giants when the country imposes a 10% value-added tax on digital products and services starting July 1st. It's seen as a way to boost revenue during the economic fallout of COVID-19. It will be targeted at streaming services, apps, and digital games. As the world stays home during lockdowns and quarantines, many nations are suffering economically. Though Indonesia is not the only one that will push ahead with such a tax. India, Poland, and France, as well as others, have already made their intentions clear. The French are pushing a 3% digital levy once again, which they say will be enacted regardless of international consent. This past January, France tried unsuccessfully to impose a tax, but were threatened by US trade tariffs if the measures went ahead. With the absence of a global multilateral approach to digital taxes, countries around the world are now making their own decisions, with COVID-19 as the catalyst which governments are using to boost revenue as their economies reel from the crisis. Unless there's some kind of global consensus in this area, it could be a very expensive year for big tech. Microsoft continues to ramp up its cloud infrastructure around the world. The world's second largest cloud provider dominates over 18% of the global cloud market. Despite the uncertainty of the global economy, Microsoft sees this as an opportune moment to expand and invest. The US tech giant will invest $1.5 billion in Italy's digital transformation over the next 5 years. It will construct Italy's first cloud data center region to be located in Milan. The investment is to result in the creation of over 10,000 jobs and focus on AI hubs as well as programs for SMBs in a nation that has suffered immensely by the pandemic. This isn't the only major investment for the company. It's also announced a plan to invest $1 billion in Poland and has plans to build more cloud hubs in Spain, Mexico, and Israel. Europe's largest hospital operator was struck by a ransomware attack as healthcare systems continue to suffer under the immense strain of the COVID-19 pandemic. Fresenius was the target of unscrupulous hackers, which limited operations at the company. The group employs over 300,000 people in over 100 countries. The healthcare provider is a leader in dialysis treatment, and it's particularly disturbing development that cybercriminals continue to target healthcare organizations, considering the fragile state of our world. One of the dangers of COVID-19 is that it can cause sudden kidney failure, putting those who have kidney-related health issues at even greater risk, jeopardizing the work of health workers and patients who rely on the life-saving equipment and care being provided by Fresenius, exacerbates an already tenuous situation and shows once again that despite the global health emergency, cybercriminals show no signs of stopping. And that's all for this week's episodes, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember to keep extra careful with all your online and digital activities. Remember to be safe, to stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.